Let me introduce two new models, Claude Fable 5 and Claude Mythos 5. This isn't just another update. These are Anthropic's flagship models, released in June 2026. Fable 5 is Anthropic's most capable, widely released model, built for demanding reasoning and long-horizon agentic work. Mythos 5 shares the same capabilities but removes the safety classifiers, available only through a limited release program called Project Glasswing. If you use the Claude API, this directly affects how you'll write code going forward. Let me break it all down. Anthropic has always run two model tracks. Claude Opus, the most powerful reasoning-focused model, and Claude Sonnet, the faster, more cost-effective choice. Fable 5 takes the Opus position. According to official benchmarks, Fable 5 surpasses Opus 4.8 across multiple evaluations, particularly in code generation, long context reasoning, and multi-step agentic tasks. Mythos 5 is an interesting variation. Same model architecture, same training weights. The only difference is the absence of the safety classifiers that cause Fable 5 to decline certain requests. Think of it as the unrestricted version of Fable 5. Let me start with the specs. The API model IDs are Claude Fable 5 and Claude Mythos 5. Both models share the same pricing, $10 per million input tokens and $50 per million output tokens. The context window is a massive 1 million tokens by default, among the highest available today. You can output up to 128,000 tokens per request. 1 million tokens is roughly equivalent to 3 copies of War and Peace, or a full year of Slack conversations. You can feed in an entire codebase, a whole novel, or a complete contract, and ask the model to analyze it end to end. The most distinctive feature of Fable 5 is its built-in safety classifiers. When the model decides a request might involve harmful content, the Messages API doesn't return an error. It returns a successful HTTP 200, but with stop reason set to refusal. The response also tells you which classifier declined the request. This is an important design choice. Traditional APIs use error codes for refusals, but Anthropic chose a successful HTTP 200 because they believe refusal is not a system error, but a normal model behavior. If you get a refusal, you have 3 retry options. First, server-side fallback. Pass the fallback's parameter in the API request and let the API retry on another Claude model for you. Second, client-side fallback using the SDK middleware available in TypeScript, Python, Go, Java, and C#. Third, implement manual retry yourself. If Fable 5 feels too restrictive with its safety classifiers, Mythos 5 is your answer, but it's not publicly available. You need to join Project Glasswing. Project Glasswing is Anthropic's limited access program for developers and researchers who need greater freedom in what the model can process. Mythos 5 has no safety classifiers, so in theory it can handle requests that Fable 5 would refuse. However, there's a catch. Data retention is 30 days, and both Fable 5 and Mythos 5 are designated as covered models. There is no zero data retention option. If you need HIPAA-grade data handling, you need to evaluate whether these models fit your compliance requirements. Anthropic built a clever billing mechanism around this. If Fable 5 refuses a request before generating any output, you are not billed. Even better is the fallback credit system. When you retry on another Claude model, Anthropic refunds the prompt cache cost, so you don't pay twice for switching models. This is almost unprecedented in the industry. Normally, if you call model A, it refuses. Then you call model B, you pay input tokens twice. Anthropic says no. This reduces the risk of trying Fable 5 because you don't have to worry about every refused request burning through your budget. Another killer feature of Fable 5 is extended thinking. In the Messages API, you can set thinking type to extended with a budget of up to 128,000 thinking tokens. What does that mean? The model can perform tens of thousands of words of internal reasoning before producing its final answer. For complex math proofs, legal analysis, or multi-step code reviews, this produces dramatically deeper results than standard inference. Adaptive thinking is always on. The model automatically decides how much reasoning is needed without manual adjustment. Together, these features give Fable 5 a significant edge on any task that requires deep reasoning. Both models became available on June 9, 2026. Supported platforms include Anthropic's own Claude platform, AWS Bedrock, Google Vertex AI, and Microsoft Foundry. So no matter which cloud provider you're on, you can call these models directly. The one caveat, Mythos 5 is only available through Project Glasswing and not in all regions. If you're interested, you need to apply to Anthropic. For the average developer, there are 3 important takeaways from this release. First, if you use Fable 5, you must handle Refusal. Expect your application to sometimes get declined. This is not a bug, it's by design. You should implement fallback logic so users get a smooth experience when Fable 5 refuses. Second, Mythos 5 is good for experimentation and research, but not for every scenario. Its data retention policies and compliance implications need your own evaluation. Third, the 1 million token context window is real and usable. You can start thinking about entirely new use cases, like analyzing your entire codebase in a single API call. These 2 models represent Anthropic's dual commitment to AI capability and safety. Fable 5 proves they can build industry-leading models. Mythos 5 proves they're willing to let developers choose where the safety boundary should be. And the refusal mechanism plus fallback credits show they're thinking seriously about how to make AI both powerful and safe enough for real-world use. If you have questions about these models, leave a comment. This is Dennis. See you next time.